All right, I think we are there. Guys, hey, it's Gavin here, and I've got a call. We finally have Ammon Bundy call right now live from the Nevada jail. So get the word out, share this, spread it. Ammon has a few important things to say of what's been going on, and he's strong. They're doing good. They have not been complying. And that's why they're still in the hold, because they're bringing a message of hope. And the last thing they want in these jails is hope. They want us to comply. They want us to play along. Ammon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Gavin.
They should be able to hear you. So tell people what's going on, or whatever you feel like needs to get out there, Ammon. How are you doing? And why are you still, it's been almost a month now, why are you and Ryan still in solitary?
Well, they put us in here because we just really basically will not accept their guilt. They want us,
facility.
They want us to accept that what we've done or what we're doing here is our fault. And I've had several actual guards say, well, if you don't want to be here, then you shouldn't have committed a crime. And I've tried, of course, to explain to them, hey, look, we've not been convicted, and we are innocent. We maintain our innocence.
Right.
But and I know without a doubt that what we did was right, but they insist that us to accept guilt, and we will not do that. And
good for you.
We will not allow them to treat us in a way that says that we're guilty.
Yeah.
And so they put us in these holes, in these cells, and feed us through a little hole in the door, and I have to fight to get a phone call out, and won't go into the details there, but I'm right now standing on my knees with the phone receiver. It's like an old payphone receiver through the little hole in the door, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm at risk doing that. I'll just leave it at that.
Ammon, what's it like in the solitary? How are they treating you in there? I mean, do you have proper clothing and heat, or what's the deal in there?
They feed us 3 times a day. It's just for me, it's barely enough, but it is okay.
Right.
And I don't ever come out. I do not ever come out. And if we come out, for example, if we get a video visit from our friends or family,
right,
they require us to get on our knees, put our hand through the port so they can handcuff us, and then when they take us out, there's 2 or 3 of them that actually hold on to us literally like we're just monsters. But
Man.
I don't do that much, or don't have an opportunity to do that much, which I wouldn't anyway. But I literally just stay in here in this cell. It's about a 11 by 7 square concrete room, and the last time I came out was a week ago, and I've been in here for like 28 days. So. But I'm feeling strong. I want people to know that. I want people to understand that, that they're not breaking us down. They're actually teaching us to be strong and to stand. I know that what we're doing is right. I know that.
Right.
I know to get freedom is to not accept that things are wrong.
Well, what's powerful to me, Ammon, is that even in chains, and I've been trying to explain this to people, and they kind of scoff at me. I say, even in chains, they're still refusing to comply. It's not about violence or hate. It's about saying, I'm not gonna let myself be treated like an animal. I'm not gonna let myself be taken into the courtroom and pretend like I'm being treated like a human, when in reality I'm being treated like an animal.
Yeah, the innocent man is the greatest threat to them.
Yeah.
And we have to maintain that we're innocent and not accept the guilt that they try to place on us. And how else can we do that if we don't say, look, you can't treat me that way. I'm an innocent man.
Right.
I have my rights, and you can't take them. How else can we do that? And anybody that says that, excuse me, that compliance is what's needed and what we must do is an absolute ignorant to history.
Exactly.
Nobody in history nobody that has preserved rights or brought good to this world that was compliant. Nobody. And you point somebody out. I mean, we could go from, Martin Luther, the first Martin Luther, to Martin Luther King Jr., to Daniel,
to Jesus.
Shadrach,
I mean,
Meshach, and
Paul.
Abednego.
Yeah.
We can go to the Lord.
Right.
And look at them. None of them accepted the wrong that was happening.
Right.
And they made a difference. Can you imagine what our world would look like right now if those people, John Wesley, I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Right.
Many of them lost their lives, but they stood and would not comply because they knew it was wrong. Look at the founders.
Yeah, compliance is never the message. We're to be loving and compassionate and not to be out seeking vengeance, I would argue, Ammon. But obedience to tyranny never brings justice.
Well, see, you can't do it and revile. We're not supposed to revile and be wicked and mean to those that we're not complying with. That's not acceptable.
Right.
But we must not comply. We cannot comply unless you just want any liberty that's left gone. If
and
you
most
want
of them
that,
are.
then comply.
Yeah.
But
It's
if you
fear.
want to hang on to the very liberties that we have, and if you want to get more back, you have to say, look, this is wrong, and no matter what the consequences, I am not going to comply. Period.
Ammon, people are afraid. Well, I know it's and here you are still standing up. What can you tell people that are afraid?
Well, I'll tell them this, and pardon me if I'm being a little bold, but we don't have a government problem in this country. We don't have a police abuse problem in this country. We don't have a spending problem in this country. We don't have an economy problem in this country. We don't have a criminal problem in this country, or a drug problem, or a moral problem. We don't have those problems. What we have is a courage problem. We have a bunch of cowards who won't stand and face a true problem.
Well, and I
that's
think
the problem. We won't face it. We're so afraid of our comforts being taken, or our food, or our pleasures.
This call is from an inmate facility.
Right.
We're so afraid of that we will not stand and face it, and it's just going to destroy us.
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's not going to come out in the end. And our moral problem, to me, our biggest one is our sin in this country, our refusal to acknowledge our fears and put aside our fear and stand up and love our neighbor has made us cowards. It's made cowards of our men. It's made cowards of our nation. And so all of these abuses that we see that are very real, what you're saying is that it's all because of us. It's all because of the people sitting by and allowing it to happen and sitting silent as their neighbor is kicked in the head.
Well, it is, and it's twofold, because one is we're not willing to stand up when our neighbors get kicked in the head, and two is we seek safety so much that we're willing to give up liberty. We want to feel so safe, but like Benjamin Franklin, security over liberty deserves neither and receives none.
Well, and Ammon, you tell me if you think I'm off on this, but it seems to me in your work and in activism that I and others have done, it's not about telling people, oh, go out and pick up your guns and start a war. I mean, we need a revolution of hearts. If people would have a mindset of not complying, whether it's at the courthouse or at the protest or in their community, like you did in Oregon, like we did at the Bundy Ranch, if you with peace and principle get a group of people and you just say no, I feel like this is why you're in solitary. I mean, yes, they want you to comply with them, but I think what really scares them, Ammon, is that you and Ryan bring hope to those prisoners in there. You're saying you don't have to be animals. You don't have to be treated like pigs and like animals. You can stand up for yourself. And what they're trying to kill is hope. And if people would resist, if many would resist in small ways with principle, I feel like we would get somewhere. Okay, I know they're going to cut us off, so I'll let you take that last minute to say whatever you need.
Well, I just reemphasize, that this was the home of the free, and because of the brave. And that is the only way to maintain liberty, is through bravery. And we become brave when we know that what we're doing is right. When we have faith in a God who is just, and we know that what we're doing is what he would have us do, and what in our hearts, so we know. And we stand on that. And we put the fear aside.
From an inmate facility.
We put the fear aside, and we do what is right and let the consequences follow. That's just what we have to do. And
Your time is up.
Thanks, Ammon. We love you. Guys, they cut him off, and it's been really hard. They make it really hard for him to get a call out. But I think the message is strong, and I think we need to be so proud. We need to be really supportive. In fact, what I want people to do. Listen, I mean, they're trying to avoid. These courts are corrupt, and they don't even, if they try and represent themselves like they did with Todd in the current trial going on down there, they don't even let them represent themselves. There is the Bundy Defense Fund, paypal.me/Bundy Defense. And I want everybody to go there. Somebody share this in the comments, paypal.me/Bundy Defense. And go help these guys out, because there needs to be a strong lawyer, a strong attorney. As broken as the system is, we need somebody in there who's a bit of a fighter and who will stand up and not just completely play the game like these public defenders are doing. And so if you can help them with defense, go show your support for Ammon and the family by pitching something in over at paypal.me/Bundy Defense. Kelly's actually on here right now. She's been listening. You still there, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm still here. Thanks, Gavin.
I got that correct then, right?
Yeah, you did. And the email is just bundydefense@gmail.com. He can't find the other, but it is posted on my page under Kelly Stewart.
Okay.
On Facebook as well. But please, if anybody can help, there's been a great team that worked all the way through the Oregon trials. They donated countless hundreds of hours to the not guilty verdict in Oregon, and we desperately need to see that for the five guys going to trial the end of June. So please, $5, $20, whatever you can send is going to help. It's not going to go to line the pockets of these attorneys. It's going to go to pay for their food and their housing while they stay for
great. So this is support,
5 months.
Ground support then.
Ground support. Well, yeah, they're looking at possibly up to 5 months staying away from their families in Nevada defending these guys.
Okay.
So we need to
So
help.
this is practical stuff. PayPal.me/Bundy Defense. I think Ammon's words are really powerful. What I heard is just a continued reaffirmation of be principled, be loving, but do not comply. And we need less compliance. We need more Roberts in the courtroom jumping up and saying treason. We need people out on the streets calling out the bad officers. Is there anything you have to add to this, Kelly?
No, I really appreciated, you can hear the brokenness in his voice, but he still has courage.
He's strong.
I appreciated that he was still calling out to the American people to have courage. And also, when we do things in bigger numbers, we can be principled, we can be peaceable, and we can also make a great impact versus people like Ammon and Ryan isolated away in solitary because they're the only ones choosing to not comply.
Yes. Well, and I want people to think about this as we close. Consider these men. You know, we're out here in our comfortable beds and our comfortable food and our nice cars, and these men are in chains, sleeping in concrete, being treated like animals, and they've still got the passion and the courage to look at those corrupt officers in that jail and say, no, friend, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to comply. They still have the courage. If those men in there in chains can say they will not comply, what kind of a man are you if you lie down and comply? This is an example. It's not about hate. It's not about hate. It's about standing up and doing the right thing. And look at the example that you're seeing. Kelly, I guess I lost you, but I think we've pretty much covered it. Anything else?
Yeah, could I add one thing about some of the abuses we've heard in the jail that hasn't really been talked about?
Yeah.
Just regarding the mental abuse, a lot of these men are going through really extreme circumstances that we can't even understand mentally, besides being away from their families. And a few of the things that a couple of the wives shared with me, one of which wasn't even one of our defendants who's down at the jail when we went to do visits last week in Nevada.
Right.
These officers will actually stand there and watch these men take showers, and they'll actually say the words to them, you know your wife is out sleeping with your neighbor right now, right?
Wow.
And they're making these comments to try to incite anger in them. They're comparing genital size with other defendants to each other, right to their faces. And then if these men show any sign of resistance, of course they get in trouble for resisting. This is absolute mental and emotional abuse, and these men are isolated from their families. So every word that these officers says to them when they're sitting in the hole by themselves at night really starts to play tricks on their minds, and they start to think, maybe my family members are turning on me, maybe people aren't being supportive, maybe people think I'm crazy. And this goes for all the people in these jails that are under this abuse. So please never think that just because somebody might even actually have wrongfully may have actually committed a crime, please never underestimate the suffering that they are going through right now in our current jail system.
Well, and I think it's very...
No. We're not rehabilitating anybody. These are human warehouses, and they're making money off torturing these people.
Even the people that may have committed real crimes, and we don't know because they never got due process, no one should be treated like this. And this is the fact. I think this is the crux of it. These jails that we're calling justice, these courts, the officers that guard them, the judges that send people there, these treasonous for-profit prisons, these people are going in there and they're being mentally, physically, and sexually molested by these officers. That's not justice. It can't be tolerated. And if you're out here, if we're out here and we're playing along, if we're saying comply with these guys, we got to get along, we got to do what the officers say. If you're spreading that message, you are putting down the people who are suffering for righteousness. And you need to change it. You need to change your heart. We need to be strong. We need to set aside our fear. I know it's scary, but we need to set aside our fear and step up. And we need to pick our battles, but we got to start being bold. We got to stop playing along with these guys. We got to stop making these marshals and these officers and these judges think that they can just do whatever they want and nobody's going to say anything. Just start opening your mouth. Start saying things. Start being an Ammon. Start being a Ryan. Start acting like Christ. Start loving your neighbor as yourself. So let's say a quick prayer before we wrap up here, and hopefully people will like this and share it far and wide. Get Ammon's voice out there. Father, we pray that you will deliver this people. We have so much cowardice and fear, and sin has made cowards of this nation and our men. Deliver us from that and from our fear, and we ask that you'll have mercy on us, because we know that you say that you show no mercy to those who have shown no mercy, and we for so long have been a merciless nation. We ask that you will open people's hearts and that we'll set aside our hate and tough guy macho-ness, and that we'll humble ourselves before you and have a principled defiance of evil, and do so with a love for our neighbor, and stop compromising. And we ask that you'll intervene to set these men free, not through the power of these fake courts and fake laws, but through the power of your word, and that you'll bring justice. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, we good? I think we've covered it, and I don't want this to go too long, so get the word out, guys. Thanks, Kelly. And let's get that. What's that address? PayPal.me/Bundy Defense to help out with all the people for the next trial that are going to be on the ground there, and people that are doing legal help, and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. You guys spread the word. We'll talk soon. Get it out there. Let's help Ammon, help the prisoners all across the nation. It's not about faction. It's not about our group. Everybody is experiencing this, and it's time to say no more.